And today, my AKA powders, we have what might be the best modern day science fiction film I have ever seen. Underwater 2020. Let's go.
Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
I'm watching this movie. And I don't understand what I'm seeing. I don't understand how it looks so good. It's so convincing. It's claustrophobic. It's dark. All of these things we're afraid of. This is a horror movie. Horror movies reflect who we are and what we fear. Science fiction opens up tomorrow. When we have horror sci-fi, things happen inside of our minds. At the end, we should be all inspired. I haven't seen a movie like this effective, with this idea, this streamlined, since Ridley Scott's Alien. The film critic community is broken. How is this movie not heralded? How is this movie not considered a top tier movie? How is this movie not put as one of the best low budget science fiction films we have ever seen? This movie executes on all of the sci-fi tropes that we love. Mysterious, has a backstory, leans into a broader world, shows us something completely new, and along the way, fires our imaginations. I don't know what we're doing, my AK powders. I do not know what's happening. Why are we not, like, this movie, I thought this movie was a little bit of a joke. And what triggered me is, randomly on YouTube, you know, like, there's the play next function. So play next was a theory of connecting Underwater to the Cloverfield movies, which, in a way, if we're knowledgeable of that initial Cloverfield movie, we kind of see the origin here. We do. And this guy kept talking about this freaking movie. And then he says they reach Cthulhu. H.P. Lovecraft. So now we're going. Now it's cosmic horror Kristen Stewart movie. Who is Kristen Stewart? I mean, you can pick it if you want the Alien comparison. You pick your poison. Kristen Stewart is as hot or more hot than Sigourney Weaver was in Alien, and we all know those Sigourney Weaver shots. There's something magical that happens in this movie. I don't know what it is. I just know I want to watch this effing movie again and again. Part of this discovery trope, I want to call this. This is somewhat like exploration horror. People want to call it a disaster movie. People even call Cloverfield a disaster movie. I get it. They qualify for that. But this one's unique because we're discovering and we're uncovering what is happening, what is around these people. And we use a lot of what we saw in The Mist and Cloverfield. We're going to introduce the true danger, the true creatures, these monstrosities. But first, you're going to have to deal with the little guys, the bugs. You're going to have to deal with the bugs. We see this expertly. I mean, literally in The Mist, it starts with the bugs. We see it in Cloverfield, where this danger that our characters are going to, these obstacles that our characters are going to have to deal with, the danger evolves. It brings something else with it. It's not just Godzilla showing up. Godzilla is bringing other creatures. And all of this goes with the fascinating fact that whales, even alligators, they have creatures that live off of them. It's one of the most amazing things with the animal kingdom. It's a thought that people like to engage in. And it works so well for cosmic horror, even kaiju horror. It's beyond me too, where even kaiju, right? Like the term kaiju horror is not prevalent. Isn't that wild? So we have a $50 million movie here. How much? 50 to 65 million. I don't understand how we can't pinpoint that. I'm getting sick of these gaps. Box office 40 million. We have a wonderful death too, by the way, by T.J. Miller. I get it. I get the criticism for his Transformers, The Last Night death. This movie's a lot better, a lot better of a death. So not only do we have a cast of characters running to somewhere to escape and dealing with basically all the decompression, getting flooded, just dealing with destruction and danger around them, they have creatures hunting them down one by one. I mean, at one point, I probably would have said, like, the best movie we got from Alien that was a serious effort was Pitch Black. I think this movie roundhouses Pitch Black right to the grill. Our director, William Eubank. Let's just, can we get into some of his movies? Because we have seen his movies. The Signal, Paranormal Activity, Next of Kin. I watched that for the 31 Days of Dread. Never reviewed it. Land of Bad, 2024. This is his movie. So he follows up this movie with Paranormal Activity, low budget. And then he follows it up with Land of Bad, also low budget, low box office. Who has 1 million people in that movie, by the way. That's been on my list. That's a 2024 movie. Maybe we'll have that coming. This guy's a cinematographer. It shows. So I'm watching this movie. I don't understand how does everything underwater, how does everything look so convincing? Your filmmaker side of the critic wanders, and it just, you're like all inspired. I don't care. I think after this episode, and I know a lot of you are going to say, well, how can you say that? This is not a real movie. It's a science fiction movie. AKAPADers. If we if we constantly find movies that the rest of the world passed up, and it's not because the movie's not good, it's because the movie wasn't publicized, even in the social media sphere, where we have a lot of people discovering things on their own, getting recommendations, all that stuff. There's still a controlled flow of gatekeepers, critics, influencers, and so forth. These controllers, if you will, don't champion this movie. They don't get upset when movies like this are just sitting there, especially when they're within the modern day. It would be a different world if I'm talking to you about a movie from 2024. You have to watch this movie. I caught it on Hulu. And the other amazing thing, I just want to touch on this real quick. Daniel Radcliffe, Mr. Harry Potter. Yeah, I'll even put in Emma Watson. Harmony, right? I always get corrected with how I say her name. Robert Pattinson. And we have this girl from Twilight. We have the two young adult novels. The two biggest young adult novel series, Twilight and Harry Potter. The male-female stars of both of those franchises are not typecast and constantly make good movie. If Daniel Radcliffe's in the movie, you can guarantee it being good. If Robert Pattinson is in the movie, you can guarantee it's really good. If Kristen Stewart's in the movie, you can guarantee that it's good. If Emma Watson is in the movie, you can guarantee it's good. It's beyond me how anyone today can be typecast. I know I always reference Rainn Wilson because he's just been on record, I believe, on the Bret Easton Ellis podcast. He criticizes him being typecast, and he says, I just couldn't get any more roles after I was Dwight. Dude, I don't know. If Harry Potter, if the people in Twilight can consistently make incredible movies, fire your people, because you don't get any more typecast than the people in Twilight. I guess maybe Jacob. What happened to Team Jacob?
Okay, that's a wrap.